Good morning, and I say good morning because it's morning, and I've got my sunscreen on. I'm doing the Cover FX sunscreen again, which I spoke about in a previous video. I got it at the Sephora sale, President's Day sale. So, face is really shiny, but I am here to look at another new foundation. This is Givenchy Couture Teint, or Teint, could be Teint Couture. City Balm, and then there's actually more words after that, like radiant and something else. I got the color C205, which I think actually might be a good match for me. It's for all skin types, and it's supposed to be very long lasting. However, it's light coverage. So, let's get into it. This looks a little light, but let's see what happens. It smells. You know, it's always the expensive brands who just have to give you perfume. And look, I don't really mind that much. I love perfume, but I mind when it stinks. This is a good color. Uh-oh. Yesterday I did the reboot by Makeup Forever, and the color was so orange. But this is promising. Now, let's see if it oxidizes. I didn't use very much. It does have an SPF in it, but honestly, you'd have to use a quarter teaspoon to get the SPF, so this is just like an added bonus, kind of an SPF. This is nice. Alright, I would say it is light coverage. The coverage is probably pretty similar to the reboot. And the reboot I built up, so let's see how this builds. The reboot built really nicely. There was no problem. This looks like it's going to build pretty nicely too. This is nice. This is nice. I feel like I want to get another sample of the reboot in a color that's not orange, if they have one, and do a side to side, because I was impressed with what that looked like on the skin. It really looked natural, but I'm thinking, well, this looks really natural too. And yesterday the reboot was not looking good around the lips, and this is looking fine around the lips. And the color seems to be 1,000 times better. So I'm going to finish my makeup and show you the final look, and powder will be necessary due to my sunscreen, and I'll be back. I'm back. Makeup is on. I've done my brows, I've powdered, I've done my concealer, blush, Sunset Strip, eyes, the Dior Pastel. I'm giving it another try. If you saw my video playing with pastels, I've done this more of an emphasis on green, and I incorporated this Makeup Forever color, and really it wasn't that flattering. So I'm trying it again. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep this palette or not. And the lip is discontinued Bite. I got this when they cut the prices on Bite, but it's a nice pink, and I feel like I've got something, you know, spring and somewhat vibrant going on here. And I have powdered using my By Terry hyaluronic powder, the translucent one. So, I feel like it did get a little bit darker as it dried down. I don't think the shade is horrible, but it's not what I first put on. I don't think I'll be able to tell better after I get this into the computer. And when it got powdered, well, not when it got powdered, when I powdered it, just don't like the shine right above my eyebrows. It did change the look a little bit. It's not bunching or doing anything weird, and the reboot did around the mouth yesterday, but the reboot had a very natural look. I can't explain it, how it just really did look like skin. This one, maybe not as much, but the color is much nicer. So I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I will be back later on in the day and we'll get an idea of what is going on here, if I like it, if it's lasting. I'm going to pull you in. but this is what it looks like. And yeah, I think it looks pretty. I mean, if I went for a more neutral look for the rest of my face, like didn't do a bright pink and didn't do this eye and went for more like a natural look, this might pass as I'm not wearing foundation, maybe. I think I like it. I might have to do a side-by-side comparison between the two. See you in a few minutes. I'm back. It is about 2 hours later, and I wanted to show you what was going on. Soon after I put this on, I decided I'm going to go in the backyard and do just a little cleaning. And then it became a lot of cleaning. This is actually something I do a lot. When I'm just going to do a little something and boom, it's turned into a big deal. And long story short, I was sweating. I thought this is going to ruin everything. I came back in and I dabbed just a little bit of the sweat off with a paper towel. I didn't go hard, and I actually didn't do the whole face. I looked and I saw some sweat around here. I thought, let me just hang out. Maybe I need to reapply, maybe I don't, but I let everything dry, and I think this is still going fine. I'm going to pull you in a little bit. There we go. Now the light is a little bit different, it's just a few hours later. So I thought before I come in with my final check-in in several hours, while the light is still pretty decent, I want to read to you a little bit about this. Glasses on. Givenchy Teint Couture City Balm Radiant Perfecting Skin Tint SPF 25. And it is a perfecting skin tint that protects the skin against pollution, UV rays, and blue light emitted by digital screens. Coverage light, finish natural, formula liquid, all skin types, normal, dry, combo, and oily. With up to 24-hour wear, the skin tint's weightless feel evens out the complexion for a natural, flawless finish formulated with SPF 25. It is available in a multiple of shades, divided into 3 undertones, warm, neutral, and cool, to seamlessly match a variety of skin tones. It's not that many shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, it's 14 shades. So if they think that's a multiple of shades, good for them. So my impression is this is really like a CC cream, but they're not calling it a CC cream. It's like coverage, and they're really pushing the SPF. The problem is this: in order to get 25 SPF, you have to use a 1/4 teaspoon on your face and neck, and there's no way you're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of this. So for me, let's just look at it as a foundation, as a light foundation with a little bonus punch of SPF. It worked well with my Cover FX. It's adhered to the skin quite nicely. Even though I sweat, I'm not looking super shiny. So I'm pleased. That's what it's about. It doesn't feel drying. It doesn't look drying. I'm not seeing signs of dehydration, which I often see like right around here. I am liking it. It may have oxidized a little bit when I loaded everything into the camera. I couldn't tell. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot from when I just put it on and a screenshot afterwards and put them together to see if they match. So I'll probably do that, and I will update you in several hours to see if it did. But so far, thumbs up. I don't know why nobody is talking about this, but this is a really, really pretty look. And when I put this into the computer, I came to the conclusion that this has more coverage than the Reboot. It's my feeling when I put on the Reboot, it was like hardly any coverage at all, and this one was pretty good. And when I built it, I feel like I have a solid medium. I don't feel like this is barely there. Really nice look. Oh, ingredients. Let's talk. Water, methyl trimethicone, alcohol. Damn. Oftentimes alcohol in foundation that high up is put in there so that the foundation can dry faster once it gets on the skin. And it does set pretty fast. Some of it would evaporate, but the truth is putting alcohol on your face when it's in the third position, I'm not in love with that idea. The Pat McGrath also has alcohol very high in her deck list. And the L'Oreal, I can't remember the name of it, the one that came out last year, so pretty on the skin, but so much alcohol that I feel I can't wear that for 2 days in a row even. So the alcohol is a bummer for me, but it might not be a bummer for you. And as I said, it doesn't feel drying and it doesn't look drying. I don't know, maybe some of it just dissipates quite quickly after you put it on. And it is possible that part of the reason I'm not feeling dry or looking dry is because the Cover FX has so many dimethicones in it, and those are somewhat occlusive. Not all dimethicones are occlusive, but many are. I just don't know which are which. So maybe there's something saving me there. That's kind of a bummer. All right, I'll be back in several hours and we will see how this is wearing. I am back. This has been on for 5 hours and I think it looks great. Despite my sweating, it's still here. Now, when I put this into the computer, I thought it's possible some of this may have faded a little bit from the sweating on the sides of my face, but it's not breaking up. And I could be wrong because I'm always pretty red, well, you know, all over the place. I think it looks very nice on the skin. I do have some rub off from my glasses, but I mean, I'm more concerned with this eyeshadow than I am my foundation. Let me pull you in. So it's holding up. I really like the way that it looks and I really like the color. I am just kind of flummoxed by the whole alcohol thing. I might get another color of the Reboot from Makeup Forever and do half and half and see how they compare to each other, because I feel this is a very natural look as well. I don't think it's perceivable on the skin, and the coverage I think is a little bit better, as I've mentioned earlier. So this is it. I'm just, it's just that alcohol thing is the one thing that is bothering me. Let me put on my glasses. Okay, so with my glasses, and these are not prescription, they're just readers, I am seeing signs of dehydration on the sides of my face. I am. Not on this side, but mind you, no one can see with this vision that I have going on here. These are like 200 and this is 8x, but close up I do see some dehydration happening over here, but it doesn't feel incredibly uncomfortable. Maybe the teeniest bit tightening, but not really. And it doesn't have a completely powder finish, but it's absolutely dry. It doesn't have that moist feeling. I know that's a bad word, but it doesn't have that unset feeling. And I only put powder here and here and around here. I didn't do anything over here. So it's pretty solid, you guys. If you don't have a problem with alcohol, if you don't have dry skin, I really recommend taking a sample. And even if you do have dry skin, I recommend taking a sample. But if you have issues with alcohol, it's just too high up in the deck list to take a chance on that, especially if you have any kind of skin conditions. Alcohol does break down your skin's barrier, and that is not a good thing. However, I do wonder if some primers are able to act as a shield against the alcohol. And as I said before, I know there are some dimethicones that are occlusive and some that are not, and I don't know which is which. But if this is like a foundation you have to have, you love the way it looks, but you're sensitive, you might want to look into it and see what dimethicones are occlusive and which of those occlusive dimethicones are in which primers, maybe acting as a little bit of a shield. I know it's going through a lot. It's just I put so much time into a good skincare regimen that it just goes against my grain to do something that I know is not beneficial to my skin. But that's my only complaint so far, honestly. So thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you come back again. In the meantime, I'm wishing you a great day.